Hello, everyone, and welcome to our BGA show. I'm Flav, your host, and very happy to kickstart this conversation of today. And as a context, the iGaming industry feels like it's at a turning point between opaque legacy system, the players frustrated by slow payment, regulators now demanding real-time compliance. It feels like there is a need for change, and it's urgent. And the solution seems to come from Web3, not hiding financial flows, but on the contrary, we're building trust, and we're going to talk a lot about trust. Although I know that the word our guests prefer is more transparency than trust, and we're going to go through that for sure. And I have the pleasure of welcoming Ulle Skottling, an industry veteran recently appointed as the CEO of DeGaming. And we're going to decode a little bit about the DeGaming platform and try to understand how this is aiming to change the current situation of the iGaming industry. So hello, Ulle, and welcome. Would love to learn more about yourself and also about DeGaming, if you please.
Sure. Thanks so much for the opportunity, Flavian. It's a pleasure to be here. So my name is Ulle Skottling. I'm Swedish. I've been in the industry since 2014 and have a history of tech and finance before this. Based here in Malta. Short on me about DeGaming. So we've been around for 3 years roughly. We have a base in Stockholm, and I'm also setting up a hub here now in Malta. Yeah,
I love it. And so, as I said, we're going to go through a lot of different things with you based on the promises of the platform and also the vision of DeGaming for the whole industry. And as I said, the broader conversation of today needs to return on putting trust back to the iGaming industry. And I would love you to explain what it means exactly, rebuilding trust between operators and players. How would you explain that trust to be putting back?
Yeah, so I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, there is a challenge in the industry, and it's nothing new to that sense that there is a challenge with trust. And finally, I think we can get some support from the Web3 technology on how to solve this. And currently, the industry runs on what you can't see. And we have built a system where you can, where everything is verifiable, visible, transparent by design. So our take on is that we built our platform on chain, and we also enabled a bankroll as a service that's on chain, making it very clear to players and everyone else in the ecosystem that there, for instance, are monies in the casino and that these are being paid out continuously.
We're going to talk about this bankroll as a service after for sure, because this is such an important point and a real friction for any operators to build their own system. So you highlighted why do we have an issue in terms of opacity in this old legacy system? Or why this is such a problem for players, for operators in your, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a legacy of the design, and traditional platforms kind of fail in the financial movements, wins and losses. There's no way of knowing, are these taking from other players' deposits? Is the jackpot really there? Where is the money? And is there money? And this is just a legacy of how things have been designed from the start, I'd say.
This is definitely a problem for the players. And how would you explain this problem through the eyes of the operators, this opacity thing, why it is impacting this relationship?
Yeah, because I guess it's besides its nature that you want to know what's going on, it also becomes a bit more charged when it comes to monies, right? It's your monies and it's your personal details that you have to submit sometimes. So it's very personal for each and every one, so that you want to know that there is a secure way of handling both your funds and your details.
Yeah. So we're talking about blockchain. We are champions in terms of transparency, yet the money tracking is oftentimes anonymized or pseudonymized. Some operators, they use crypto specifically because it's actually untraceable, and we see that in iGaming offshore. But DeGaming sits on the exact opposite side of that spectrum. How do you actively fight this stigma of untraceable crypto in this industry?
Yeah, well, yes, as you said, blockchain and crypto can be anonymous, but the purpose of the blockchain is not to keep things anonymous. I see it. It's more. It's the purpose is to keep check on things. The flows between apps and wallets and crypto can be traceable if it's processed through the right and proper channels. But even if a DEX has been used instead of, let's say, a Coinbase, that still says something. And of course, the framework of the regulatory framework will support as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that regulatory framework as well, because you're definitely right on that point. Before that, so when do we have too much transparency? Because at some point it's good to give a lot of transparency between for what we do, and you explain that very well. But how do you balance the players' demand for transparency without exposing anything without exposing operators to competitive risks?
I think, it's correct that historically it's been all right not to expose and not to be transparent, but it's really no difference compared to a public listed company who operates on these terms. And there is a shift in the world that this is the direction that it's taking. We need traceability, and by that trust. And in the end, it's not the operators who decides what's important. It's the players.
Sure.
So if you look, for instance, how Spotify started out, I believe nor the artists or the producers were so much in the favor of it, but all the users loved it. So, they were quite successful. I think that's the movement, right? It's coming from the players, and these guys are the kings and queens.
Yeah, I agree. There is, and when we, from the perspective of the players, there is nothing that kills the excitement of a big win, quite like waiting days to actually get your money. And since the payment friction is such a massive driver of player churn, so giving the success, explaining the success of your platform, how does DeGaming guarantee that players get their funds instantly and without the usual headaches the other iGaming platform could have?
Yeah, so I would like to split that. So yes, we have built a fantastic solution based on liquidity, etc., that makes everything very, very rapid. But I'd also like to say, the problems with big wins and withdrawals that are delayed are not always the speed. It's maybe not always the problem. It's the transparency of what's going on. So what if the player could see, your money they're right here. And as soon as the big win check is done, your monies will be paid out. Because there are reasons for these checks, because historically there have been some games that have caused issues for the casino and everyone connected to that event. But it's also mentioned in most contracts that this type of routine is needed. But go back to then how this technology can help is, what if you can see that your monies are right here in the bankroll? Yesterday there were 85 big win checks, 100% of these were paid out. Then most likely mine will be paid out quite soon as well. And then it's not the same type of problem anymore, because I think that the friction is that I won big, I want my money, and all of a sudden, your withdrawals are blocked. We need to do some checks. It's a little uncertain how often this happens, how long it will take. If you kind of unbox that, then I think you solve a big piece of the problem, and the technology can do that.
Yeah, and based on that, I don't know how far you go. We like to explore for the past 12 months the benefit of stablecoin specifically in iGaming and beyond, in gaming as a whole as well, because it's removing a lot of barriers in terms of instant payment, settlement, and everything. What is your relationship with stablecoins as compared with, I don't like to say, but I have to make a comparison with the volatile cryptocurrencies. How do you deal with that specifically with DeGaming? How do you see also stablecoins and cryptocurrencies as a whole?
I'm quite glad you asked that question, because we've built our own crypto rail towards a stable coin. So that removes all volatility. So all currencies are converted. So the players are getting the full transparency without the volatility. So we're big supporters of this.
Perfect. How do you, a side question from that, I love to ask the question to a lot of actors in the stablecoin space, which is, I think last time I checked was 98% of the stablecoins in circulation are dollars pegged. So as you and myself from France, we vote for, kind of our own currency, I would say. How do you see that as an issue, or it doesn't matter? It's just the way it works. So how you see that?
I don't see it as an issue either, as long as you find a stable point. We have also used a stable coin based in USD.
Okay. And so we go into the bankroll as a service. Can you explain what it is? It feels like it's based on the pain point from, my understanding is based on the pain point a lot of operators have, because they have to put a lot of money. I think it's 40 to 60% of what they should put in the bank to make sure that they can pay their players. But I would love you to explain exactly what it is, what kind of solution problem you solve.
So there's several problems I see. I mean, the technology that we have built, as we're blockchain first, we have the infrastructure to facilitate the bankroll on chain. So besides, we found a way to support the operators in enabling them to scale faster, focusing their liquidity more in marketing and operations. The same technology have also enabled all the player communities to see what's going on. Back to there, you can see that there is a certain amount in the bankroll. You can see when players deposit and lose, it increases. When someone wins and withdraws, it decreases, and that creates solves the transparency problem and builds the trust. So it's really for the players, but also for the operators. So it removes a complexity. Also looking for instance at the multi-brand operator, instead of having their own capital injections in each and every brand, we manage that with like one smart contract.
Okay. So going in a little bit into the regulatory part of it and trying to give, you already have the context obviously as you are into it, but to try to bring some context for the one who doesn't know about it. The regulators globally are no longer accepting manual reporting where the operators, they are compiling spreadsheets right before an audit. There are standards. They require proactive, verifiable data trail. You have the EU shift becoming applicable in 2026, forcing operators to tighten a little bit the real-time, the KYC and the real-time risk assessment processes. You have also the UK, who actually did 9,700 compliance actions, and one in 4 operators failing, which is huge. So seeing that, where it seems like, without talking about blockchain, it seems like there is a need from the regulatory perspective to go into full transparency of actions from those companies. Feels like an on-chain ledger is actually the answer for everything, right? I don't know how you see these, but it feels like it's perfect timing, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that question. And yes, when we have been discussing with different type of regulatory bodies, there's a lot of interest in this, because some see it immediately that this is going to be the next thing. Which is great. And as you said, just let the user follow the story. Each deposit is on chain. Anyone can see the money enter the casino. If the players have separate custodial wallets, you have full visibility of the player liability. If the player loses money, the bankroll increases. The player wins, custodial wallet increases. Visible all the time by anyone. Solves everything for the casino. And really, the blockchain should be the regulator's best friend.
Yeah. How would you? What would be the obvious? I guess you still act as an educator in space because you talk about a new technology, which is blockchain, and a technology with a little bit in the dark, based on things we cannot control, based on what's happening in the US and the crypto industry as a whole. Do you feel like you're still acting as someone who tried to educate those iGaming operators about the way they could utilize DeGaming?
Yeah, I mean, you have the traditional Web2 group, and you have the Web3 groups, and they have different ways of looking at it, and we're trying to be the bridge and evangelist and support, explaining all the benefits, and I think that will carry on for a period. As it's hard to put it in one bucket or one category. This is really like creating a new type of category. So I think it's a lot of evangelism to do here, fighting the good fight.
Yeah, and did you identify any specific aspects of things that need to be released? Like they need to understand specifically something. Like, do you feel like you have to fight something specific when you are in a conversation with those Web2 guys?
Some, I mean, you can also split the Web2 guys into two camps. Sure. Some understand that this is coming. This is a natural evolution. So how do we get on this train? How do we prepare? How do we adapt our current offering? And then you have those that look into, like this will never fly, or who cares, and then you just have to share a bit on what's happening in the world. That you look to, for instance, what coming from provable fair. This is kind of the next level, and when you see to the different type of big communities, there is a push for this. The banks are looking into this. It's happening. It's happening. It's not like something that it's not a revolution. It's an evolution.
Agree. 5 years back from that, being a part of the blockchain space, it feels like we lack to talk about a revolution rather than an evolution, which, in my opinion, was the main problem we had, because we thought that we were going to imagine things from the beginning. So I totally rely on what you said. As a last question, so the platform the launch was announced a few weeks back, although you worked on that for quite some years. What would be the feedback from that launch, and what kind of things I should wish you for the next month and years in terms of accomplishment and successes?
So the feedback have been very positive so far. There's a lot of interest, and it's been a lot of interesting and fun conversations. So and thank you for this opportunity. It's another fun conversation, and hoping for many more. So I think when you get the time and sit down and explain, some get it immediately. And some need some more time, and those are usually the more fun conversations. But they also see this evolution coming, and agrees that this is a good thing. And when you said what I would like to see in the future is, if I look back and see other movers and shakers in the industry. If you, for instance, look at how when the Trustly launched and had a great solution for onboarding and payments, they solved a real problem there that was just in front of everyone. It's a pain to onboard customers. It's very important, and it's very important to do it right. And then everyone's like, how did they do it? And this was obvious, and this was great for the industry. And then, of course, others will follow. And this is what I hope how we will be perceived. Like these guys solved an industry problem first, and then others will hopefully we inspire others to do something similar. That is for the greater good for everyone.
Yeah, the domino effect we are all waiting for sure.
Yeah, the catalyst.
Yeah, the catalyst for sure. Yeah, no, thanks. I don't want to, thanks a lot for your time, Ulle, on that. And congratulations again for both the launch and your new position as a CEO. And thanks for the time sharing your expertise and experience, and wishing you the best for the next month. I'm sure we're going to have more and more conversation around that for sure.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot for the opportunity and for your time. True pleasure, Flavian.
Thanks. And I will then cut it from this. And thanks again, Ulle, for that. I really appreciate that. And if you want, I will share the recording to you and you let me know if everything is good. For me, everything was really great in terms of feedback and insights. And yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time. So thanks a lot. And let's make sure to connect. We will be in Malta. It's going to be a long time. But we're going to be in Malta for PlayCon in November because we're going to have a booth. And as I said, it's going to be the timing for us to talk about iGaming crypto. So we'd love to connect there.
Yeah, perfect. Are you going to SBC Lisbon by any chance? No?
What is this one?
This is end of September, beginning of October.
Okay. What is the name you said?
SBC stands for Sports Betting Community, is the original name. SBC Lisbon.
Oh, yes, true. Okay.
It's quite a nice one. I'll be there in case you decide to go, and if not, I gladly meet up in November when you're here.
Perfect. You based in I spent 6 months in Malta, so I'm aware of living there. Are you based in Tash Beach? Because I know a lot of companies are there.
No, I was. So when I moved here in 2014, when I was deputy MD for NetEnt, then we were in Tash Beach because we and Betsson, it came from the same group in the beginning. So we were very close. We're still close. So we were sitting super close to Betsson back then. So I worked there. Then when I moved to video slots, just jumped across that little pond there to Pieta. So I was always close to there. But now we're going to set up offices in the St. Julian's area.
Okay, interesting. Great. Then again, thanks a lot for your time, and I will reach out with the recordings we have, and it will be lovely to keep up on the conversation.
Yes, please. I would love to keep in contact, and thanks again for the opportunity. True pleasure. Very nice meeting you.
Yeah, thanks, Ulle. Same here. Have a nice day.
Likewise. Take care. Bye-bye.